All right, I want to spend just a couple minutes. It'll probably be longer than that, knowing me. But I want to spend just a little bit to talk to you about why the WiserPrice system works so well. I developed this over the last 30 plus years in business. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I figured out what those mistakes were, figured out how to solve those mistakes. I talked to my clients about it. This is not something that I've really shared with anybody other than my clients in the last few decades of work, but I decided to publish it and get it out there, and other agents talk to me about it all the time. There are other agents who use it now and it works well for them. But again, I developed it with one goal in mind, and that is to get you the top price possible for your home. Now, top price, we're talking about market value. What's market value? The definition of market value from real estate school forever ago in the 80s, right, is willing buyer, willing seller, neither one of them under duress, who agree on price and terms. That is what the definition of market value is. And when a willing buyer and a willing seller get together and they buy a property, they close on a property, that becomes a comparable that all the appraisers can then use to help determine the market value of your home when you eventually sell it. So appraisers work in reverse. So there's a difference between appraised value and market value. Appraisers working from today past, and we're talking about market value, which is working from today forward. So what we're trying to do is say, okay, in this market, based on all the factors that we know, condition and location and the amount of marketing that we do and the economy and interest rates, all the things that matter, where is the perfect price for your property? And there's really only one way to figure that out, and that is to let the wisdom of the market meet us. Now, look, there's one buyer out there somewhere who will pay more for you than any other buyer will, and we'll go try and find that buyer. But the risk of putting all of our efforts into finding that buyer at the expense of getting the home sold at market value to a normal, average buyer is significant. And I'll talk to you about what the potential risks are of you exceeding the average days on market in this marketplace and stigmatizing your property and what can happen. I'll talk about that in a minute. But for right now, the WiserPrice system allows us to make sure that we can get you the top price for your home in the time frame that you need, and we have commitments that we make to each other to make that happen, and this is why it works. So let me kind of explain what that is. The first thing is we price your home. Step one is we price your home within 5% of market value. Now, how do we know what that is? Well, I've been doing this a long time. I go through the same process that an appraiser goes through, except I'm looking forward. I'm looking at things that are currently on the market, things that have just barely sold, as well as the stuff that's in the past. I'm looking at the economy right now, and I have boots on the ground every day, so I have a feel for what's happening in the market. So I take all that data and I put it together, and we come up with what I feel like a market value price is. My goal is the same as yours, to get you every dollar I possibly can at closing, net in your pocket. Get the home sold for top dollar. Okay, so I would think that's probably both of our goals. 99% of the time, that's the same goal that my client has. Well, if you got 10 appraisers together and had them appraise the same home, maybe you don't know this, but they don't all come out to the same price. Appraisals are art and science, part art, part science. And the science part of it is, we know exactly what the square footage was, and we can do an analysis on what the dollar per square foot is, et cetera. We kind of know what the average lot size is and what the dollar per foot on the lot size is. But there are so many things in an appraisal that are subjective, like how much do you increase the value of a home for a view? Well, it depends on the view. What if the view's of a brick wall, right? Well, then it's going to decrease the value. How much do you increase the value of a home because of its location in a certain location? Well, if you love that location and that's exactly where you want to live, well, then you probably increase it a bunch. How much do you devalue a house for being on a busy street? These are all subjective things, right? The type of finish, the age, there's a lot of things like that become very subjective. And if you had 10 appraisers do the same property, you'd end up with 10 different prices, but they'd all probably be within 3, 4, 5% of each other. If you had 10 agents, 10 realtors do it, and we're not as professional and experienced as appraisers are, most of us. A lot of agents are brand new. They're throwing darts to try and find the value. The reality of it is those agents are probably going to be within 10% of each other as to what real market value is. Well, so we use that information, but we use it as a starting place, okay? And the goal is to get you the most amount of money possible. So there are kind of two strategies. There are three strategies. We can price it above market value, and we can cross our fingers and hope. We can price it right at market value, and we feel like we're going to get a good sale in the right period of time. Or number 3 is we price it below market value, and we count on the market being busy enough. And this is the case right now, even in 2024, there's low enough inventory right now that if we price something below market value, typically we get a whole bunch of showings and we get multiple offers, and we bid your property up to what market value is. And normally what we'll do in that situation is, if we know that's the goal, you have to have a fast sale, then I'll take the marketing budget I would spend in 5 or 6 or 7 weeks. We'll pour it all into the first week, or into pre-list marketing. We'll hold a mega open house strategy. We'll bring food trucks in, or slides for the kids or whatever. We'll have this huge neighborhood party, get all the exposure we can, make sure that every potential buyer in the market is going to see your home, so that we make sure we get everybody that's going to write an offer, and that will help us bid up to where we need to be. So it's not quite as crazy it was in 2020 or 2021 right now, but we still get multiple offers, and we still bid it up to market value all the time. But aside from those 2 strategies, let's say we want to price your property at or slightly above what we think market value is, so we can try and get the most amount of money possible. Well, if that's the case, step number 1 in the WiserPrice system is we price your property within 5% of market value. So I'm going to do a healthy CMA. We're going to look at comparables together. We're going to make that decision together. We're going to come to an agreement on price. So we have to be in agreement on price. I won't list a property that I'm not 100% sure I can sell. Then the agreement is that I'm going to do certain things and you're going to do certain things, so we make sure we maximize the potential of the home to sell. What I'm going to do is make sure that I have the home exposed, and not just a sign in the yard in the MLS, which most agents do, and not just open houses, but we're going to expend significant amount of money in digital marketing, analog marketing, postcards, networking, everything we can possibly do. And when I mean digital, I'm talking about things where we can be really specific. Like, I don't know if you know this, but on YouTube, I can target demographically and geographically within a mile of your home for people who are just looking to buy. Google owns YouTube. Google knows everything about everybody. As soon as they go to a homes.com or a Zillow site, Google knows that, triggers it, and we can actually find that specific buyer, and we can show them a video of your home, and we can do it fairly inexpensively, and we can target it very, very, very directly. We can't target generally on Facebook quite so much. Facebook has an advertising rule that doesn't allow us to go within smaller than 15-mile radius, which is troublesome sometimes when we're marketing a specific house. But the workaround on that, and I'll explain this more to you if you want when we get together, the workaround on that is I can actually pull a list of people, the same list we're talking about with Google, people who have indicated they're going to be buying a home at some time in the future. They've expressed some type of interest. We know their credit score is above X amount. We can get that list, we get their emails, we load a custom Facebook list, we can market just directly to that list and forego all the other people that would not be seeing that are not interested. It's a very effective way more expensive and way more cumbersome, and a lot more steps than just what the average agent does, which is just posted, just listed, on their own social media. But if we do those things, that I know that I've given your home all the exposure possible. And that we do crazy things too, like knock doors around your house and door flyers, and we'll make phone calls if you want us to everybody in the neighborhood and let them know it's there. We'll try and find the next neighbor for your neighbors. There's a lot of things we'll do. We will not leave any stone unturned or any nook and cranny vacant. We'll make sure we go everywhere we possibly can to find the potential buyer for your home. That's my commitment to you. Your commitment to me is that you'll make sure the home's in good showable condition, that any repairs that need to be done before you put it on the market are done, so we don't distract a buyer and you end up paying a premium for a discount because of condition. What I mean by that is, if you need new carpet and the carpet's going to be $3,000, well, a buyer's probably going to offer you $6,000 less because they have to do it themselves. So you're going to end up paying a premium for that. In some cases we do it, in some cases we don't. But if there's any little things that need to be done, we want to take care of that stuff in advance. And you're going to make sure the home's easy to show, and you're going to keep it in showing condition, so that we maximize not just the people that can get into the home, but their experience while they're in the home. So the commitments we make to each other are, you're going to make it easy to show and sell and make sure that every buyer has a good experience. That's your commitment to me. My commitment to you is I'm going to make sure that every single potential marketing trick and tool that I have at my disposal that I use, and we maximize the exposure of your home. And then we're going to look at some statistics. I can look at exactly how many people are looking at your home online. Why? Because we push them to our own website. Yes, we build a website just for your house. We do that for a couple reasons. We look at the virtual tour. We look at traffic. We look at where the virtual tours stop. We look at the traffic on the website. We look at the total views, which I can track through our system. And we know how many people looked at the house versus how many people decided they want to come see it. We also talk to every other agent that's in the marketplace out there that has comparable homes to see what's going on with them. If we got no showings and a home just like yours down the street that's priced less got 6, those are people that should have looked at our home too, right? So we want to know that. So we won't leave any stone unturned to make sure we've done our job and make sure we've maximized the exposure on that. And if we've done our job and you've done your job and we're not getting 4 showings plus per week, then we know we're high. If we're 4 or more showings a week, my experience is we're within 5% of the market price, and we're probably going to get an offer. If we're less than 4 showings a week, if we're getting 1 or 2 or 3 showings a week, we're probably 5% high or more, maybe 10% high. And if we're getting no showings a week, and especially if other homes around you are getting showings, then we're at least 10% high. We use the wisdom of the market. You have an opinion of price and I have an opinion of price, and we probably are aligned in that with regards to your home, or we wouldn't be working together. But if the wisdom of the market, if the other 10,000 agents out there and the other 100 buyers that are looking for a property like yours right now in the market, if they don't decide to look at your home and they decide to look at others, that's the market telling us that we're up in the night and we got to make an adjustment. So we make little small adjustments to bring us down to market until we bring the price down and the market wisdom of the market brings the price market value up, and we meet in the middle and we find the right market price for your home. This strategy only works if your agent is doing their job. If they're just putting a sign on the front yard and holding an open house and putting it on the MLS and their company's website, and maybe they posted it on their own social, if they can't prove to you that they're doing significant demographic, geographic marketing, targeted digital marketing to help you be able to sell the home, then this strategy doesn't work. You're just paying an extra premium for them being lazy and not doing their job, right? It also doesn't work if there's distractions in the home, things that need to be repaired. It doesn't work if you make the home very difficult to show. If you don't leave the home and you're walking around behind the buyers and making it uncomfortable, that we're not going to get an offer. There's things that you do and things that I do in partnership to make sure we get the maximum value for the house. I know I'm beating that like a dead horse, but I've learned this the hard way over 30 plus years, and it's my job to tell you the truth. So we make these little marginal adjustments, little tiny, 1% or 2% adjustments until we find the wisdom of the market. And we do that within the time frame of knowing that we do not want to extend past the average days on the market. And here's the reason why. So we make our decision together fairly analytically to say, okay, it looks to us like we're within X% of the market price right now. So based on that, by month number 2, we want to be at market. And the reason why is that if the average market in our days on the market right now in our market, this is 2024, is about 59 days right now. Depending on the house price, some houses it's a little more, some houses it's a little less, but call it 60 days. Well, if you're on the market longer than 60 days, by the time we get to that market value price, you're going to pay a premium discount to a buyer who makes an offer, because the buyer is going to assume more is wrong with the house than just price. The buyer is going to assume that in addition to price, that there's something else wrong with the house. It's stigmatized. If nobody else wanted it, if 12 other homes just like yours sold around you before yours did, then the buyer is going to be questioning. When they go in, they're going to look at it more critically than they would if they were just coming in all excited. An agent's going to look at it more critically. So we don't want to be on the market at more than the average market time, because we end up stigmatizing the property. We end up paying them a premium discount almost every single time. Again, as long as we've both done our jobs. If we haven't done our jobs, and we're not in partnership, we're not in alignment on it, then none of this works anyway, and it's just kind of a crapshoot. So the thing to remember is this, that the market is wiser than we are. The market will tell us what the price should be. And if we can just rely on that and make sure that we're doing everything we can to get the best price possible, and yes, we will go look for the perfect buyer in advance. We'll do everything we can to get it in front of those people, put those people on the top of the funnel and push them through. But if we can't get that, we're looking for the best market price we can get to get you on, help you accomplish your real estate goals and get on with your life. So that's the way we do it, okay? So just remember that there are component pieces to the WiserPrice system. Number 1 is we price it within 5% of market value. Number two, the big thing is I have commitments I make to you and you have commitments you make to me. We follow those things through. We make tiny price adjustments as we go, and then we push the marketing pieces back out. Every time we make a price adjustment, we can re-enter the market with some new marketing, and it helps us boost that marketing a little bit. And then the last thing is we have to have really healthy communication. So sometimes I'm the bearer of bad news, but you pay me to be honest with you. I will tell you everything I know and everything I hear. Every showing that happens, I follow up with the agent relentlessly. I have driven to their office and talked to them face to face if they won't answer their phone. This happens all the time. When somebody shows the home, I will find out what happened to that buyer. If they bought another home instead of ours, we're going to know why. If they are not giving us feedback, I will hound them. One thing you probably know about me is I don't give up pretty easy, right? So if we're going to be in business together, you want an agent that's a little rabid that way, and I will be that way. So we're going to find out. And my job is to give you all that communication and make sure that you know everything that I know. So we're going to have really healthy communication. This is probably one of the biggest complaints I hear. Every week I probably hear this 3 or 4 times, that one of the biggest frustrating pieces of the puzzle to somebody who's selling their home and had an agent before me and is asking me to come in and fix it and solve that problem was that they just didn't have any communication, or the agent couldn't tell them why. I promise you, you will have data, actionable data that you can use with me, and you'll know exactly why I'm asking you to reduce your price. I won't do it nonchalantly, and I won't do it without data and backing it up. The commitment we're going to make to each other, if we're going to be in business together, is we're going to find that market price. If we're not going to do that, I'm not your guy, right? I'm the guy that's going to help you sell the home in the time frame that we need and get you the most amount of money. But if we're just kicking tires trying to see if we can get 20% over market value, there are other agents that are brand new in the business that can put it on the MLS and not spend any money and see if that will work. I'm not that guy. But if you're serious, you want to get it done, I am your guy. And I think I do it better than anybody that I know. I'm not trying to be cocky, but I've been doing this a long, long time. I know I spend more money on my marketing than most agents spend. I spend more money on marketing your house before it goes live than most agents spend on all of their marketing all year. And that's not really fair because most agents do about 1.5 deals a year, right? So just remember that the goal is that we're on the same team. We have the same end in mind. We're going to work together. We're going to have healthy communication. You be straight, transparent, and honest with me, and I'll be straight, transparent, and honest with you, and we'll get it done. And then you tell all your friends about me, okay? All right, that was a long video, 17 minutes. I thought this was going to be 4. It's probably typical with me. So call me, text me, send smoke signals, drive to my office, knock on my door, whatever you want to do. Let's get together and get to work and get your house sold, okay? See you later.